Hello, my name is Monster. You can call me Cthulha or Monster. Welcome to my, I believe, episode 4 of my early game Let's Play. Thank you so much for joining me the last few episodes as we have started to settle here in our swamp outpost. I'm really excited to see what we get up to this next round. I'm trying to think of a name for this outpost because I do think we're going to have a lot of small smatterings of outposts. So if you want to drop that in the comments, do let me know. Otherwise, yeah, I hope you enjoy this episode. So let's see what we get up to today. So I was just working here on the build. It's definitely not my fanciest. I went for the slab roof here, which makes it so I can't use the daub and wattle up there. I put in some pressure plates on here and some trapdoors for the windows. Yeah, all I really need now is clay and mud and thatch. And I was just working on clearing out the planted trees here and replanting them with chestnut, which is just a little bit more my style. I'd really like chestnut and hickory to build in this one. I find a lot of the logs are a little too pink for me, but I am considering going more like tropical, colorful in the next round. But what I wanted to bring you in on is if you look over to this direction on the mini map, do you see that? There's a sheep over there. That is amazing. We want wool. Like, that is massive. So I'm gonna go get that sheep and bring them home. I know that they desperately would like to live with my 3 goats. So yeah, I was shocked to see the sheep. Oh, spinning in the water. See, we're saving them. We're saving them. Hello, you are tiny. Please come with me. You'll have a great life. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be how much animal husbandry I'm going to be doing here at the little outpost. Um, yeah, I think that's the perfect size for what this is. This doesn't need to be too crazy, so just a little cabin. It is also becoming time to get my blueberries, so I'm just going to do a quick harvest here of blueberries. So you can see that some of the canes actually grew too wide here, which is great. We have 14 blueberries. Okay, so with blueberries, the thing that I really want to make more than anything is actually going to be vinegar. Vinegar is a great way to get starter food preserve not even starter. I would consider it pretty solid food preservation. It's going to be the longest lasting, even more in my opinion than doing a cellar. Unfortunately, they don't stack. You can't pickle things and then also put them in a cellar and get like extra time. They already have their time. So with that though, you might have noticed that we need to get some alcohol. And what I'm going to do here is do some querning. I'm not really good at this pronunciation. This guy right here, the quern that we had made. So I'm going to put in the wheat grain here, and then put my torches in offhand. And you only have to hit it once, right click, and it will start making you those pieces. So with wheat, it's going to be making, it is going to be making whiskey. Okay, and then once we have whiskey, which we want to be careful about, is we don't want to age it to aged for 3 months. We want to make sure that we throw some vinegar in it. Aged whiskey, I do want. So if it does happen, it's not terrible because I do want haste early game. I have 12 things of wheat flour, and this would make a total of 6 millibuckets here. Is that quite enough to preserve a whole stack of food? Is what my mind is trying to say badly here. I know from my experience that 8 buckets is what you need to preserve food. So 4 for the initial pickling, and then the rest needs to be submerging your stuff within vinegar. The submerging aspect is a key part of working with vinegar in those items. So we're going to start though. We'll get these 6 buckets going, and worst case scenario, we'll get aged whiskey to take mining. All right, it is early autumn, so I do want to go get some clay and wheat here so that I have an enclosed building. Once again, these are one of the indicators for clay. So, and if I also need mud for this endeavor, which I could use dirt and thatch, or I could just use mud. So I might just be digging out this mud pit too. So yeah, we are working on making a daub here, which could be mud and clay or mud, dirt, and straw. One nice thing about daub is you do not have to actually be in a crafting table for it, so it can be something you work on and condense down. But yeah, so I need to first put a bunch of sticks on the Daub, so you can see that it's made it solid. And I really love this preview now. You can kind of look to see what it'll look like. This one doesn't have enough, so it went and switched that. Spin. Let me grab some sticks. I've been saving my sticks for some of this. Forgot to mention that. I was saving my sticks for Daub. Let's see here. And I have Daub now. So if I want to, I can add clay to this now. And you can see it's changed its texture and has become unstained. So in the future, I'll be able to stain it, dye it colors. All right. Each of these needs 4 to go first. It needs 4 sticks to make a... there's my other stick bundles. It needs 4 sticks to make solid here. And let me know how much building you want to see. To be honest, since this is early game and building is a large portion of my early game, you guys are probably going to see a decent amount of it. And yeah, just like, if there's any feedback on what you really enjoyed in an episode or what you're like, I didn't really want to see that, let me know. I can't guarantee I will take it into consideration, but I do appreciate having feedback. So I got some clay already here, and I'll be making that while I do this. And I definitely just want a solid house before winter comes, because I'm not necessarily going to have enough wool to stay warm. All right, so I got more of the wheat here, and this time I have 14, which would make 8 buckets proper. So what I'm going to do is just take this water barrel down to my aqueduct and refill it with water. If you haven't before, I strongly recommend using your aqueducts because it is such a pain when you lose your water sources, and it can be very frustrating. Okay, so now we have more whiskey forming there. Excellent. And yeah, we have almost all the Daub. We need to get a little bit more over on this side. I am really excited for all these, what are they called? All of these morning glories to come around. So technically this is a finished house. It isn't pretty. I don't have a bed. I still need to work my storage. But yeah, I got a finished little space here. I don't know about the second door at the moment. It might be too much. I might want more space here. But once winter hits, we'll be able to stay nice and toasty in here. And I also want to start moving my storage for some of my storage out here inside. Let's check on the foodstuffs here. At night, you're able to work with the bees. So I do have 3 bees here, which fertility and mutant, okay. Crop affinity, natural restoration, mutant, and no queen here. And on the bottom one, the bottom one has full on, has bees too. So this is great. So I'm actually going to make some more beehives here. I will say, if you do not like crafting stuff, this game, especially this mod pack, is very heavily in crafting. There's a lot that you need to pay attention to. All right. So in here, what I'm going to do is I like the crop affinity 3 here. The fertility is not bad, so I'm going to take this one here and so yeah. So I want to make sure each has two queens so they can breed amongst themselves. And I will make another beehive here for the next round. Can I jump this up? No. I was making it. I didn't know I could use the ladder on here. It's 59, too few flowers. Okay, ladder up to the top of my bees. Don't do that in the real world. I don't recommend it. And I actually got another flower from earlier, so I don't need this lower flower. So we're back to 60. Excellent. I'm curious now if I do one more up, if it would have any be any luckier, or if we would have any luck with that. So let's for science, right? Science demands this. I'm sorry, I must know. How high up can I crawl on my... Yeah, so I can put them up here as well. And still get the 60 flowers if you see on the middle item there. Definitely not how I'm going to keep it, but in the meantime, I'm lazy. All right, so I just got a bunch of clay, and I was working on my organization of basically I sorted all my stuff in my abode, my outpost here. So now I'm just gonna be grabbing all the blueberries I can for the season's out. And bee wise, I haven't really looked at their progress. I still, um, yep, the ones that had bees, one of them's filled up, one has another one. Oop, I should put another. Oh, I've made it angry. That's why I do those at night. I forgot. All right, but yeah, so here's the outpost. I've removed all that storage that was here, and now we have a nice wall of storage here, just with signs on here that talk the names. The ones up here are just singles, and then doubles in the other bit here. And then I was thinking about it, and I realized I wanted to make another Firmalife oven, the bottom one. And I'm also going to need some more chimneys, and I need to look at what the oven needs here. So the unfired bottom oven here is this shape. So I'll want one of those. And the reason I want the unfired bottom oven is I want to be able to make soup inside during winter. Because I do like the soup in this game for mining and those other items. Okay, some more bricks. Okay, so we're gonna go back over here and get that. I really hope this area gets overtaken with the what is it called? I really want to see a lot of I want to see a lot of something. I would like to see, in particular, a lot of morning glories. There we are. And in my previous build, I was really adamant that this needed to be all brick, but brick is very expensive early game, and we're not that wealthy yet. We'll get there. Our final base will look much nicer. And I'm nearly out of clay at the clay pit that was over by that fallen log over there. All right, so I got some logs here. I'm gonna put 3 here and then light this one and see if the fires go somewhere weird. Okay, smoke level. It's not hot enough yet to cure, but we should be seeing smoke out of our chimney here. Oh, look at that. Excellent. Oh, this is going to be perfect. Oh, lovely. And then these will start to cure as it starts burning that acacia. And so, yeah, we in this outpost are very fancy. We've got a double oven here. These ones won't share heat, which if you have them next to each other, you don't need as many bottom ones, but I don't have a really good answer on I'm wondering. So if I take this and this, if I put this here and do this, okay, yeah, so see, it says it's not insulated. So I would prefer, I'm just going to keep them separately and let them use the same chimney. And, walked right into the side here. And what I'm going to do is grab this pot here off of the campfire, and we will put this inside now. And so we'll have a pot right here for our dealio, which is great. And then next up, I would like a barrel of water inside. These are our whiskeys. I believe you're a barrel. Well, you're not yet full barrel water, but I do like to keep a barrel of water inside and a barrel of a yeast starter so that we can have everything to make bread really quickly on hand. It's a bit tight in here compared to what I normally would do, but I think let's make let's use some trapdoors here to make a little top there. Do I have any trapdoors? I got acacia. And I can make some trapdoors here. So let's make 3 to start to see if this will work. This is one of the ways I normally am used to. Okay, excellent. And then if you open it like that, it'll just break them. So same thing with vessels. You want to just be a little careful about that. All right, the other item we might be able to make now is our first backpack. So the biggest part that's going to be tough for us is string. And we do have some wool. Which string-wise, let's see what we can do with the wool. So wool, we can use a spindle here to get wool yarn, but we'll need a spindle first, so we can set a few more molds going. But first, I probably should drink some water. And take a look at the bees. Nighttime is your Nighttime is your friend for looking at your bees if you're especially just being cautious about how you're raising them. So here we have two still only. We have three here, so one can move. So this can be a little complicated, especially when you're running, gosh, we got 20 frames here. I want crop affinity, which I've mentioned. So I'm seeing a crop affinity 2, so we'll keep that one and here as well, and everything else will just be gravy. So I murdered one I unalived one by using right-clicking it with the knife. I didn't have to pull it out to do that. And now this one has 3 in here. Are some moving in while I'm looking at them? I'm not really sure. So yeah, we got our first beeswax, which is perfect. That's going to open us up into the next set for a few things here because it opens up our treated lumber, which we use for all sorts of things. I'll need to look further at how. It's been a little bit since I've played that. Oop, it's dark. Dark and dank. I mean, it's beautiful in here. And yeah, again, I'm just making sure I'm keeping track of that nutrients. Someone did mention hardtack is a good emergency food. So I definitely want to look into that in the future. Let's take a look at that recipe. Hardtack. So it looks like it's salt, water, and flour, which we definitely have. And yeah, no nutrient value, but will make me not starve. That is the main goal. And oh, spindle. That's what we were up to. Let's make that spindle so we can get our first wool. All right, one item I've been wanting to do is putting a top on this pit to the darkness. This is where you saw our first monster. And I don't want to fall in it. So I'm just gonna create a little top, and it's very noticeable, but we'll get down there later on. And you can see the effects of the bees already. This is awesome. You see the nitrogen has 17% there. So my crop yield is 33% here on these oats. That's why I'm so happy to see the bees. The blueberries and a lot of berries do have multiple harvests a year. Well, not a year, a season, if you're able to stay on them. It could really suck to miss your berry season. I'm going to check on that whiskey, actually, to see if we could start making our first... Oop, here's our whiskey. Fermenting whiskey. Okay, so this whiskey's almost done, so we could actually make some vinegar. I think I'm going to cut down some more trees, to be honest, with some stone, with my stone. I'm too lazy to make another axe until I get to bronze. Normally, I don't know. I actually normally skip the Copper Age, so this has been a hilarious endeavor for me to actually make copper tools. The most copper tools I normally make is the saw, and then I'm working on making a pick. We're going to be going to mine out that califite area, and my goal is to use trees in that door to get down lower there. Oh no. Well, thankfully it doesn't break the stuff I make. And I picked up 4 pieces of my pine trees there because I'm also going to set a dugout canoe going. Those do take a little bit of time to grow. So let's first work on getting a canoe going. You could drag them with a lead, but you also run into an issue where they will float away if you build it too close in the water. So I'll dig this out later on. So you strip the logs, and then you use the saw to cut. And you get the wood back, which I thought was very nice of them. And then you use the axe again to make your canoe parts, and then you light it on fire. And this just needs to burn out, and then we'll get a canoe, and we can use a canoe to go around. And I'll probably make a little dock area and some get the paddle over here. But in the meantime, back to base. All right, so the spindle is actually done, so I'm going to grab that out of the pit kiln here and see if that string will work for me. Okay, so here's my wool, and we're going to make our first spindle. I actually own one of these drop spindles in the real world, but I haven't, it's a hobby that I'm planning on investing in. So, excellent. We're completing up some quests, and I'm going to grab this leather that we have here that we made at the end of last episode. So we got some leather, and we would need a chest. You can tell I made a few too many signs. My shame. And we want to make, oh my gosh, we can make a backpack. Oh, excellent. There we go. Our first backpack. This is awesome. With B, I can see here, and I'm going to put it on my back. Perfect. It's not the biggest here, but it is going to be very useful, especially because I can put tools in it. And if you play this game, you know that tools, since they don't stack, are just very painful at times to use. I'm going to make another barrel as well so that we can get our first set of yeast going. So I'm actually just going to go fill this up. Da-da. Da-da-da. And this side is the one that we'll put the yeast on. And with this, we have dried peaches. And specifically yeast, the first time you start it has to be from a dried item. So with dried peaches, I will get 100 millibuckets from this. So 10 is 1 bucket. So I can make 2 buckets of yeast starter with these, which is pretty rough. I will say that's not much to start off on. I think the rest of the water will void itself, so we will just do that many. Okay, so I have whiskey here at 6. 6 buckets of whiskey. I'm going to take a look to see how much vinegar it makes. So it's 250, so it's 4 per each bucket. And since I have 6 buckets, I need 24. And that should be enough. I think that'll make the full thing of vinegar. So that'll be perfect. We'll get some vinegar going, and then we can start pickling some items. Food preservation takes a while. So definitely recommend getting as much wheat and fermented alcohols as you can. You do not need to use whiskey for it. There is durability on your handstone, so you may end up having to replace it in time. Specifically, what I'm looking at is what's going to go bad more fastest. So I have a lot of long life items here with like the 1 year things. Beets are pretty long life, so those are more of my winter vegetables. Berries will go bad very quickly. All right, so I am seeing here we have our first thing of vinegar. So we're actually able to do our first food storage here. Actually, what I want to do with this is I'm going to bring this one as well. I hadn't considered this. This is actually a great thing that we have that salt water so clear. I'm going to grab 1 aqueduct so that I don't take sources out over here. And I don't have a shovel. So I'm just going to come over here and... do I need another aqueduct? I think I need another one. All right. With preservation of things, you need salt water. And the best way to get salt water is the ocean. You can mix it, but that's pretty pricey. So if you have quick access to an ocean, strongly recommend it. So we got our vinegar here, and I'm going to put a salt water here as well as the one that I threw on my back. First up, we have this, let's do 1 thing of berries because we will not have access in winter to berries. Okay, so for brine, we need to actually mix it, don't we? Okay. So instant recipe is we need 1 bucket of vinegar for every 9 buckets of salt water. Okay, 1 thing of vinegar. Here you go. Become brine. Excellent. Now I can close you in here, and it's brining. Brining is a pretty quick process. And we'll be able to pickle the blueberries. Ugh, I just realized I'm pickling blueberries. All right, so our blueberries have been brined. And now they are ready to be pickled. So we can put them over here in our pickling. And so these will pickle in the next 4 minutes. And we can see what that looks like. I have my soup going on. And then I can focus here on getting the rest of the items I wanted before I'm off into the mines. It is a lovely onion and carrot soup. All right. So yeah, so here is some preserved blueberries. So these are pickled and brined, so they got 3 months here, but we don't have, so this is still making up some vinegar here. But there's not enough vinegar in this container to work as a preservation thing. So this one will in its moments here. Yeah, 18 seconds on that. So we can wait that out. It's awesome that I can put logs in there as well. All right, so here's our other vinegar. And vinegar, to store it, it's 4 buckets for a stack. So now you can see that these blueberries will last 2 years and 9 months. So that's one of the really big preservation parts, is storing it in vinegar. All right, I am going to grab a lead and a post because our canoe will be done by now. But yeah, I think now with all of this, I should have everything we need. Hopefully we'll be back before it snows. What time is it in the year? Okay, September. All right, and our canoe was, there's more salt too that I haven't picked up. Our canoe's over here by this tree. So perfect. And I am just gonna make that paddle. Excellent. And we actually also can make a chest for this, which is, I do prefer to have a chest on my canoe. If you have a 2-player game, you can use 2 people can be in here, but I put a chest right there. And now if I put a lead on it, which you can see, like, I can attach it right there, I'm able to drag it into the water. So yeah, that's how you can get those moved. You cannot bust this one. And then without a paddle, I can still move. But with a paddle, I can move a lot faster. And you steer from the back with canoes. So especially in our flat marshiness, this is prime for us. So I'm going to go get that waystone and then get to that mine. All right, so here we are at the area I was seeing those indicators. Just in case I die due to reasons. I really hope I don't. But copper mine 3. Can't believe I've already gone through that many copper mines. Normally I don't have that big of a problem with them. And we have the door here so that we can do the method that you see some folks do. Okay, very large sample. So this is a great spot. I'm going to put the door here to start. I'm going to look at that crab. You look tasty. Could eat you. Oh God, that one scared me. That one did not look yummy. I don't know why. Apparently oh, seismic stuff. All right, so I moved the door out one so that I wouldn't break it when I started digging. I only see 2 levels of dirt here, so I'm hoping that this is going to be all right here. So I'm going to put down some ladders, and I'm going to make sure to test. So yeah, I'm still seeing a large sample. I'd really like the prospecting drill, but I don't have that yet. So we'll have to look in the future. So I'm going to dig till either I find the calopyrite or I go past it. And if I go past it, then I'll know I need to go up and search one of the directions. Oh, okay. So we found zeolite first, which isn't one we're looking for yet, but we are getting closer to being in these ore pockets, which is great. Hey, there it is, calopyrite. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to put the fence up. So calopyrite is what we want, and I want to be digging this from the top of its vein. Zeolite, I don't believe has a use yet for us. Yeah, zeolite is further on and will give us calcium, aluminum, so that's MV level. Yeah, we don't need that, but calopyrite is exactly what we need. And the reason I wanted to go for calopyrite first is that the amount of copper per each one is more than a rich copper. So you can see that it's 72 millibytes on this right now. And if I did a rich copper, you're going to see that it's 48. So it's already more millibytes. But then if you do process to get us, with bulk blasting is enough to get us one millibucket. So we're definitely going to want to seek out that create item there before we go too far into using all of it. I'm going to dig down so that the top is 3 up. So it's 3 up right now. And then do the same thing that I did last round. And this is the constitute here, which that is tin, which we absolutely needed. I'll come back once I get this mine looking good. Oh boy, I fell. Down here in the raw andesite. Oh no. I have some logs. Let's see if I can get this done. I would like to be up and not down. I almost died. You can see 52, I think it was when I fell, and luckily I'm not seeing any mobs. Definitely seeing the ore site the ore that I'm following here. So that's nice, but terrifying. Things I wasn't expecting. Thank gosh I have all these locks. All right. So we have a mine. We're definitely digging, not a mine. We have a hole. We're definitely digging into that, whatchamacallit, cave if we continue in this direction. So taking out the cave wall. So I'll have to be careful. I just wanted to record that, especially if you guys are following along. Don't fall into the hole. It's scary. I've barely, if my nutrients were any worse, I would not have survived that one. And that's also why we guarantee nothing on collapses, because you never really know what's underneath you. All right, so I have gotten to the point in this mine that it's likely that as I get the rest of this copper and tin that I'm going to start causing collapses because of that cave. So I'm going to call it good for the moment and head back to base. So yeah, we did great on our ore here. We have almost 2 stacks of the calipyrite here, which if we use the create would almost turn into 2 stacks of copper itself. And then the cassiterite, we're at 48. And there is some processing in there that might be able to make that more as well. So yeah, we're doing great for our next round going into bronze here. This is going to be a great step. One thing I did want to note is the episodes may start slowing down a little bit. Gravitas 2 does take time to get things going. I do keep my time played in the description if you're ever curious. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun on this one. We did quite a few things. So early game TFC very much hits my ADHD happiness. So this episode is chronological, if you could believe that. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, you learned a bit, or at least laughed at a few shenanigans. We definitely have committed food crimes. No one should pickle blueberries. But that's going to be something we'll suffer for a voyage in the future. Again, my name is Cthulhamonster. I play both this early game series here on a solo world as well as a Let's Play series on Outpost Patreon server. I am much further along in that one, but I didn't start filming it early game. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great night. Bye.